Hi everyone. In the last session, we have seen basic data types in Python. In that session, we have discussed that there are 8 data types in Python. The first one we discussed is none, and second one is numeric. Third one is list, fourth one is tuple, fifth one is sets, and sixth one is range, and the seventh one is string, last one is dictionary. Under the numeric, we have discussed that there are 4 types. The first one is integer data type, and second one is floating point data type, and third one is Boolean, and fourth one is complex. These 4 comes under the category numeric data types. So after the discussion in the previous classes, we also discussed about the indentation. We said that indentation is nothing but any leading space or the space beginning at the line of code is called indentation. And we discussed that in Python, indentation is used for improving the readability at the same time to indicate the block of code. The main purpose of using indentation in Python is to indicate the block of code. This is about the previous sessions. Now in today's session, we are going to discuss about how to maintain indentation by practically, that we will see by using IDLE, or we can say Python IDLE, that we are going to see practically. Go to search, type IDLE, choose the option IDLE. Now I got IDLE. So my dear audience, please remember, better to use IDLE. I am preferring both Visual Studio Code and IDLE, but for you, please use only IDLE. Why? Because there is no need to download any other IDE. Why? Because at the time of installation of Python, you will get by default Python IDLE. Go to the start button and you search for IDLE and you open it. Now, I'm going to practice all the Python programs using in Python ideally at the same time Visual Studio Code. It depends upon the situation or it depends upon the editor. I prefer both. So presently I'm going to execute all the Python programs first on Python ideally. So next we will see how to execute the programs using Visual Studio Code. You can use Python ideally, Visual Studio Code, but better to use only one, either Python ideally or Visual Studio Code. So better to use only Python ideally. After opening this Python IDLE, now go to File and choose New File. New file will be opened here. Now you type simple statement, print, double quotes, you write welcome to LearnNCode. This is the statement I want to print here. Now, see here, a print is a built-in function in Python to display something on the screen, or we can say output device, right? After writing this statement, next what you do is go to the file and save the program by pressing Ctrl S or by choosing the option save. Now here it is asking the file name, the name of the file. Here I'm giving the name of the file as indentation, right? And .py I'm giving indentation.py. I'm going to save the program on the desktop. In the desktop, I have created a folder Python programming. So in this, I'm going to save the program. So I created indentation.py. So I'm going to replace it. Yes, I have created a folder Python programming. In that, I have created a file indentation.py. Py is the extension. Okay. Now, at the time of discussing indentation, I said that the first line of Python program should not be indented. That is very, very important. How many lines are there in this program? I have only one line. If you have 10 lines, the first line should not be indented. I have only one line. This line also should not be indented. We will see what happened whenever we give some space here. I said minimum number of spaces required for maintaining indentation is 1 space. You can go for 2 spaces, 3 spaces, or you can press tabs. Any number of spaces you can use, but the minimum number of spaces required for maintaining indentation is 1. See here, before printer, what I'm going to do, just I'm going to press tab, means 3 spaces, right? Now, here I have done some changes. Whenever you do changes, you have to press Ctrl S. Every time you have to press Ctrl S. Now, after pressing this, if you want to execute this program, go to the run option and go to run module, or you can simply press F5. Just I'm going to press F5 I'm using F5. Okay, now see here, you can go to run and run module, you can press. Now I'm pressing, it is giving the error, unexpected indent. And also here I got a red mark which indicates that an error is there. Unexpected indent. You press OK. Now you delete this space. Now after deleting, again you press Ctrl S and go to run option and you press run module. Now here I got welcome to LearnNCode. I think you have observed the mistake. First line should not be indented. So wantedly I have pressed the tab. It has given an error. So I have rectified the error and now I got the output welcome to LearnNCode. Now we are going to see the next one. So here you do one thing. You type if statement. The syntax of the if statement is like this. Here I'm using some simple statement. I'm giving some spaces between 2 and 1 but not required. The syntax of if is like this: if, condition and colon. See, after this I'm pressing enter. Whenever I press enter, here it has given the tab automatically. Means that it is going to give indentation. Means that it is going to indicate a block of code. Now whatever the statements you are going to write under if are going to come under the block of if. This is the greatness of IDLE editor. Now here I'm using some statement print, and here I'm typing simple statement 2 is greater than 1. Simple statement I'm typing here. Now after pressing enter, again it is giving the same tab. Why? Because the next statement by default also comes under the block of if. Here I'm writing like this: print. I'm writing another statement that 1 is less than 2. Just simple statement I'm writing here. Now after writing this, so what we are going to understand that the first two print statements are going to come under the block of if, right? Now you save the program and you run it, run module. What is the output we got? 2 is greater than 1 and 1 is less than 2. The condition is true. That's why we have executed two statements, right? Now you close it. Now you do one thing. Wantedly here you add extra one space here. Here I have given one extra space. See, after doing the changes, again you press Ctrl S. Now what is the output now you are going to get? See, we are going to get again an error. Why? Because see, if you want the second statement also, the second print statement also under if, you have to maintain the same number of spaces. At the time of discussing indentation, we said that we have to maintain uniform spaces. So here you have used the tab, but here we have used tab at the same time, extra one space. This is not correct. It's not correct indentation to indicate the block of if. So here when you run this, we are going to get an error. Unexpected. This is the error we are going to get. Now you remove the error. You press Ctrl S. Now if there is no error. Why? Because these two statements comes under the if block. Now what do you do one thing? So here I'm moving the print to the beginning. At the same time, from the beginning I'm maintaining one space. Now again I'm going to save this program. This is also an error. Okay, now run it, just check it. Run module. Again it is giving an error. See here, the space, we have to have the same number of spaces here. See here, now when you give the space like this, extra space, this is also wrong. And if you go to the first line, so what does it mean? So if you remove all the spaces and if you bring the second print statement to the beginning of the line, so what does it mean? It indicates that there is no relationship between the second print statement and first if. This is the meaning. Now you press Ctrl S. Now you run it. Now, okay, 2 is greater than 1 and 1 is less than 2. Two statements are printed. Okay. So what is the meaning of this here is, this first print statement belongs to if, and second print is not belongs to the first statement. That is very, very important. Okay. Now we are going to write another program. So here you write if 2 is greater than 1, just you write colon. Here I am writing print. I have written that 2 is greater than 1. Okay. And also I have printed that print. Just I'm writing simple statement 1 is greater than 2. Here I have written the statement. Now after that I'm going to use else block. Else also I'm going to write. See, first two printfs having the same indentation and else also having the same indentation. Why? Because the editor is going to think that, the interpreter is going to think that else also is the statement that is going to come under if. Okay, but we have to remove the spaces or indentation for the else. Under else, what I'm going to do is, here I'm writing print. Here I'm writing we are in else part. Okay, just I'm writing some statement. Here also I'm writing print. We are in else part. Just I'm writing these two statements. See what the meaning of this is. I want these two printf statements under else. Okay. Now automatically after pressing enter after else, it has given the tab again and it has printed the option here print. We are in the else part and here also we are in the else part. Now if you save this program and if you run this, you are going to get error. Why? Because see here, the else statement should not come under if. If you write else, the meaning of this else statement is else is coming under the block of if. This is wrong. Else is separate statement. Now here don't give any space. There is no indentation. Else must be bring at the beginning of the line. Okay. Now see after the else, I have two tab spaces here. Here two tab spaces, right? Here I have two tab spaces. Please remember, here we have only one tab, here also only one tab, but here we have two tabs here, two tabs here. At the time of discussing indentation, I said that we have to use uniform number of spaces. That's okay. For what? If you use here tab for this block of if, you have to use the same tab for this print to this block of if. But when you go for the else, no need of using only one tab space. Why? Because else block is different and if block is different. When you consider only this block, you have to use same number of spaces here. If you use tab here for the first print under if, you have to use the same tab for the second print for the if. But for the else, if you give two tab spaces for the first print statement, you have to use two tab spaces for the second print also. Here there is no need to give only one tab space, right? Uniform number of spaces in the sense only in the block. So when you are in the particular block, in that block, please maintain uniform number of spaces, right? So now you save it and you execute the program, run module. So here we are getting 2 is greater than 1, 1 is greater than 1, but we are not getting the else part. Why? Because the condition is not false. So that's why, so we are getting this. There is no question of becoming the condition false. For example, here I am writing 1 and here I am writing the statement 2. Now you say control S and after that you run it. Now you see we are getting the else part, we are in else part, we are in else part. Why? Because these two statements comes under else. See here, if you give space here, you will get error. You run it, run module, you will don't give the, okay. For example, here you have given the space like this, again you will get error. Indentation is wrong. So this is the way of providing the. Please remember that the first line of Python program should not be indented. in each and every block use same number of spaces. If this last print statement, if you don't want the last printf statement, this statement under else part, what you do is just you bring to the beginning of line. That's all. What is the meaning of this now? The last print statement is not going to come under the else part. This is a way of providing the indentation, right? So while doing more number of programs, while writing more number of Python programs, we can understand how to give the indentation more clearly. With this, I'm going to close the session. Thank you for watching.